gap is something I've done a lot of research about and experienced a lot of classes about as a Jumpstart Core member, because our goal is to reduce the achievement gap so that, and I quote the line that we always use, so that every child in America has an equal chance to succeed. And learning about the achievement gap from this PowerPoint and looking at the article a bit, I know the achievement gap is the difference between minority and lower income groups and how they score on tests versus white high income groups, white and Asian high income groups, and how these groups tend to score higher on tests, do better, get higher degrees, get more degrees, more bachelor degrees, more master's degrees, PhDs, and they tend to have higher salaries throughout the rest of their lives than those in the minority and lower income ethnic groups. The race group which is most affected by the achievement gap is Black and Hispanic people. They tend to have the most negative effects of the achievement gap, and women tend to have a harder time with suffering the effects of the achievement gap. Women scores on STEM subjects such as science, technology, yeah, you know what STEM is. STEM subjects tend to be more lower, especially after years of being educated in the environment in which the achievement gap is created. So having a male teacher would probably lead to a woman scoring lower on a science, technology, engineering, or math exam. There is a correlation between economic level and education. Those in lower economic level tend to not score as well on tests or make as much later on, or get as high in education, get higher education degrees. The reason behind this is probably due to the public schools and the education system in areas where lower income people tend to live. I don't have a solution to this on the top of my head. The goal of Jumpstart is to start at the preschool level so that children enter preschool ready to learn, and that will hopefully over time lead to a reduction in the achievement gap, because if they enter kindergarten with the right mindset, they know how to sit, they know how to learn, they'll be able to grow up with that confidence throughout elementary school and hopefully throughout high school. But there's no guarantee that this works. Though the Perry Preschool Project did show that those who went to preschool through the Perry Preschools Project did have higher salaries and more stable jobs later on in life and were less likely to be incarcerated. But that's not 100%. It's not definitely a fact. It's just one study, and it's really hard to do a longitudinal study to truly show that whether or not preschool affects the achievement gap overall. There is that whole thing about test scores and how over time test scores appear to equalize. Even the children who go to preschool, they might test better when they enter kindergarten, but by 5th grade they don't test better. But overall there's a measure of confidence, I think, and I don't think test scores necessarily is a true measure of achievement. I do think later on the amount of degrees, salary, income, it's which is the same as salary, and job security is a big measurement of achievement, and it's really hard to keep track of those who have gone through the education system and where they end up later in life. However, there's no denying that there is an achievement gap, and that those in the lower income groups and the ethnic minorities tend to have a more difficult time in our education system as it is, and it is really important that we find a way to make it so that education is equal and provides opportunities for all who are willing to look for them. And I hope that's where we're going someday, so let's hope that's where it goes. I don't really have a solution for this, but I'd like to learn more about it in class and talk about different ways that I could help reduce the achievement gap. Other than Jumpstart, though, I love Jumpstart. And I think there are a lot of ways that individuals, especially teachers, can enter the education system and reduce the achievement gap slowly.